everybody. How you guys doing out there? Welcome to Cut to the Chase with Skyy Chase. What's going on, good people? I figured I would come in here and talk to y'all since I had some time and share what was on my mind. What's been going on with you guys? I know you probably all out shopping and getting ready for the holidays. I do all my shopping and I'm done before December because I don't like the long lines. And God knows I do not feel like dealing with Amazon, okay, and people losing your packages. So I started a tradition forever ago. Like I would start my shopping in September and be finished by Thanksgiving, November. Sometimes I start in August and then I'm done a little bit earlier. But December, I don't go out shopping looking for anything, no last minute anything. So anyway, I am here. I'm Skyy Chase. I am so excited about my channel. I have been wanting to start this channel for so long, and it seems like so many things just got in the way. But because now all of the children have moved out, everybody is grown and on their own, Mama gets to do the stuff that Mama want to do. And so I'm really so excited. So I am your program creator. I've been creating programs for a really long time. I started in 1996 and I write all of my programs out. I started doing programs before, all the chat GPT and all of that stuff. So I don't really rely on that. I kind of write everything out, kind of take my ideas to ideation to implementation. And I'll talk about that. I've been writing so many books. I've written 4 more books. I have a new book out called I Am Money, Your Answer, Your Friend, and Your Defense. Go on Amazon and check it out. I also have a course that goes along with that, or a program that goes along with that. And I'm kind of want to touch on that, a little bit of that tonight because I have some concerns. I'm very concerned about the things that I see. I'm also a social entrepreneur. A social entrepreneur is someone who is a catalyst for change. Social entrepreneur is someone who goes into the community and sees the human condition. And then I go either write a book or create a program to change or to give a solution to that particular problem that I see. I have a nonprofit. And I have several businesses, and they all are kind of focused on the human condition. I focus heavily on personal development. I really believe that if you can master you, then you can master anything. So my new book, though, I Am Money, is really a journey to a mindset, a journey to, seeing the value that you carry. We live in a world that devalues on a regular basis, especially women are being devalued and looked down upon and forgotten about. And so I really wanted to write something that would show you really what your value truly is, irregardless of how you feel and irregardless of what somebody may have told you. And so I Am Money is really a mindset shift. And we're going to talk about that tonight because a lot of times people, they kind of throw that word around a lot, mindset, but they don't really tell you how to change your mindset. And what does that really mean? So, I'm a big proponent of not just telling people what to do, but really showing people, how to do. And that's how I really came up with the name for my YouTube channel, Cut to the Chase, because it's so much fluff on the internet. Like it's so much what we call back in the day fugazi, so much fugazi, so much phoniness. And people are just doing anything to really chase money when you don't have to chase money. You are the money. And so I really wanted to come here and kind of like reintroduce myself. I think the last time some of you saw me, I was doing a show with my son called Man Translation, where we were really talking about and tackling some of those relationship issues. And I really wanted women to understand that there is a whole different language that men speak that needs to be translated because they just don't think like women do. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but you're at a disadvantage. If you go to a country and you don't know the language, you're at a disadvantage. So if you're in a relationship with someone and they speak a different language than you, you're at a disadvantage. And it's the same thing with money. I'm a business and finance trainer. I do a lot of things. I'm a multi-hyphenate actually, but I focus on that in the respect of your gifts and your talents. And the reason I do that is because your gift is oftentimes so natural to you that it's overlooked and you don't even realize. But your gift is of paramount importance to your life. Your gifts and your talents, they bring order to your life. A lot of times people lives are out of order or in disarray, and they don't really know how to get from point A to point B because you don't really know what your gifts and your talents are. So it brings order, it gives direction, and it brings clarity to your life. You cannot do anything if you have no clarity. And so I just wanted to come here. I'm not really going to stay that long, but I'm putting together like a whole lineup. I have a whole lineup of shows. There's going to be a whole lot going on this channel. I think I'm going to go back to my old format when I used to come on and do, probably Mindset Monday or Mastery Monday or something, and Tech Tuesday and Wealth Wednesday. And, I'm going to go back to like that format because there's so many things that I want to cover. And there's so many things that I want to talk about because there's so many areas of my life that I want to share, so many areas that I've had success in. And I want to share, that with you. But tonight's show is about the war on poverty. And I think people don't really realize that we have a total underclass or underbelly of people that are at the bottom as far as wealth is concerned. And that just really shouldn't be. So I think that there's an awareness that has to come. And I think before we can have that awareness, we got to stop chasing money. We have got to stop chasing money. We have got to stop coveting material things, because not only does money have a language, I am money means that I embody the attributes and the characteristics of money. So I don't chase, I attract. And so when you attract or when you become a money magnet, you just stand in the gifts and the talents that you were called to do, and what is for you will find you. It's almost like if you ever go to the store and you and your friend kind of like end up in two separate parts of the store, somebody has to be still. Both of you can't be moving. If you're going to find me, I'm going to have to be still. And so I think that social media is where we come to be still. Social media is where we come to be found. Okay. And so I want this, broadcast to go out to the people that need to hear it. And I want to attract those people, to me. I want to attract my tribe. And so I think that, oftentimes we see so many people, showing you their houses and showing you their cars and showing you how much money they make. And that's all great. And that's all fine, because we should be able to eat the fruit of our labor. But it gets to the point where you're coveting those things and you're not doing the necessary things. If you want to make a cake, you'll just get the ingredients of what it takes to make a cake. You're not going to go, you're not going to go and just look at all the people that have a cake and just be like, man, I really just wish I had that cake. No, you're going to get the ingredients. And those ingredients, they reside in you as raw material. And so I'm really excited about this channel because we're going to cut to the chase. All that fluff, no phony. We're going to get to the real, because we are coming into a time where if we don't step up to the plate, we're going to be a permanent underclass. And we can't allow that. We have too much intelligence. It is too much intelligence. It's too much richness in our bloodline for that to happen. So, I always come with notes. So I'm going to get like into the notes because there's some points I really want to make. The war on poverty begins in your mind. So to transform poverty into prosperity, the mindset must shift from limitation to possibility, from scarcity to abundance. Now we keep throwing that word mindset around. People keep using that word mindset this and mindset that. And they're telling you that you have to change your mindset, but they're not telling you how to change your mindset. Now, a lot of times for me, when I'm getting caught up in all of this stuff that's going on, or all the stuff that I'm responsible to do, I go outside and I just take a walk. I go outside and I take a walk, and being outside reminds me of abundance, because there is other people outside walking on the track. There are other people all over the world, in the world, outside at this very moment. And there's more than enough air for all of us. There's animals out there, children out there running around. There's not a shortage of air. The air is there when you need it. And that's how abundance is. There's enough for everyone. There's enough for everybody. And so we don't have to have a scarcity mindset. So the mindset in your mind, and in my business, I shared a story yesterday. I went out and met some people, and I was sharing a story with them about why I use formulas in my business. So I'm a program creator. I created my first program in 1996 for my church. And when I started my business, I incorporated creating programs in my business. And the reason I call them programs and not courses, because I focus a lot on brain. I focus a lot on, because if you don't know how you think, if you don't know how you process information, if you don't know that information, you're not going to be able to change your mindset, because you don't know what it entails and what are the components that you need to change. So we talk about that a lot. And so I was telling them that when I was in high school, I was having trouble with math. I don't know why you have to take algebra 1 and then geometry and then algebra 2. I don't really know. But I was having a hard time with geometry. And my instructor, she just couldn't teach it to me in a way that I could comprehend or understand. And I was doing very well in all my other classes, but in this particular class, I was just doing horrible. So now we fast forward. My major in college is finance. In finance, you have a lot of math that you have to learn. And I'm having trouble with this math class. And I remember I was so distraught, and I don't get distraught often, but I was so distraught to the point of tears. And I remember being on a plane, and I was just, anytime, listen, I'm not the type of person that tell my business to strangers, right? Normally people bring me their problems, but this particular day I was so distraught. I had to get this off my chest. And so this guy, he was sitting next to me, and I was telling him, I was like, my GPA is suffering. Like I've failed this class 2 semesters in a row. I cannot fail this class again. And so he said, you just need somebody to explain it to you in a way that you can understand. And I said, from your mouth to God's ears, because I haven't found that person. He said, you're going to find that person. He said, and when you do, the light bulb is going to go off. And then after that, you're going to soar. And I just was like, wow, I get back to college. I go to my advisor. And I'm telling my advisor, I cannot fail this class again. You got to help me. My GPA is taking a hit, And he said, why didn't you come to me sooner? Like, why didn't you come to me and tell me sooner that you was having trouble? I know just the professor that you need to take. You're going to get an A. I was like, I'm going to get an A. That's going to take a miracle. Oh my God. And math, I'm happy about that. And he was right. So I go to class, and he's one of those professors where he was like, everybody in the class starts out with an A. I was like, So he said, I know you're not going to get this in one semester. If you just come to class and I see you doing your work, you're going to be able to, you're going to be okay. You're going to pass the class. So first assignment comes, I go sit down with him with my poor little paper. He said, he looked at the paper. He said, you know what your problem is? And I said, I don't know. I was on the verge of tears again. He said, you're trying to figure it out. He said, stop trying to figure it out. He said, just study the formulas. If you just study the formulas, plug the numbers in, then you'll get the answer every time. And I learned two things. One thing I learned was for every complicated problem, there's always a simple solution. And number two, if you use a formula, you get a predictable result. So I incorporated that in my business. So now, not only have I studied those formulas, but I come up now with my own formulas. So I have a formula for my business. I have a formula that I use when I create programs. And it's based on, it's the 3B plus F1 equals safe. So the B's are brain principles, biblical principles, and business principles, plus financial formulas equals safe, which is success, alignment, focus, and exponential growth. And what I found is that when you use biblical principles, you are building on a foundation that's sure, tested, proven, tried, no guesswork involved, no figuring out. Okay, it's worked for thousands of years. In business models, you find the business model that works for the particular business that you're starting or the particular niche that you're in. And then for the brain principles, you have to know how you think. You can't change your mindset unless you know at least how you think. Okay, how do you process and assimilate information? And if you don't know, how are you going to have clarity? We're coming up on the new year, and everyone is going to be going vision board crazy. But you could write a vision board all day long. If you have no clarity, you're just going to be just wasting your time. I'm doing something different this year. I'm almost finished too. I've created a vision book because, let me see, where's my phone? My vision board is on my phone. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, see, I have mine on my phone, if you can see that. See how it's on my phone. In order for you to okay, you do a vision board at home, the only time you're going to see it is when you're at home. When you do a vision board, you want to look at it as much as possible. You want to say your affirmations as much as possible. When I'm thinking about or dealing with something, or I'm in a rough spot or a hard spot, I just look at my phone because this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is my goal. This is the end game. This is why I do what I do. Okay. I pick up my phone and I look at my phone and I say, keep going. Keep going. All right. Keep going. The vision is for an appointed time. And so you keep pressing. So I find that it doesn't serve me anymore to just, cut out, pictures and stuff and put them on a board and have them at home. It's more feasible for me to be able to pull that thing out whenever I need to see it, whenever I need to be reminded of what my why is, or whenever I need to be reminded of what my end goal is, or why I'm doing what it is that I'm doing, And so I decided to come up with a vision journal that you can carry with you and you can write down. Ideas come to me all day long. All day long, I have ideas. I have to carry a notebook with me because I have so many, ideas and things that I need to jot down, because that's how information comes and that's how your mind works. You know, you have to do what we call a mind dump and a mind map, because your mind, your brain works like a tree. You know, and in the book, I talk about the money tree, that we all have a money tree. And that's the way your brain works. All of this disjointed information that's not connecting in your brain, it will not give you a picture. You won't have a clear picture. You know, so writing, you know, just accumulating pictures of material things that you want. I think there's too many things that's missing out of that picture. And so in order to transform from poverty, because really what poverty is a way of thinking. It is a way of thinking. We see according to our perspective. So our perspective is where we stand. Our perception is how we process what we see from that position. So we could all see the car accident, but we're not going to all tell the same story, because you see according to the position in which you stand. And when you process it, you're going to process it. That's why your perspective is unique to you. You know, that's what you saw. I saw something totally different, even though we all saw the same accident. And so that's how mindset works. You have some people who have a fixed mindset, meaning that they don't really want to let in any new information. They're pretty content with, you know, how they process what they're processing. So they're very fixed in their thinking. And those are the people that you can't really work with, because they don't want to see things from a different perspective, because that's what it is. I'm giving you the perspective of my experience, of what I've gone through and what I know to be true. But in order for you to receive that, you have to have a growth mindset. So a fixed mindset is very limiting. A growth mindset is always going to see the possibilities. A growth mindset is always going to see the opportunities. And a growth mindset is always going to see the abundance. And a fixed mindset is going to see, oh, well, I can't do that, or I've never done that before. You know how many things I've done since I started a business that I've never done and never would dream of doing, you know? And it's about growth. It's about forward motion. It's about making progress. And I wrote the book, I Am Money, because you have to see your value. And I think that what really sparked it too was when Taraji came on and was talking about they're not paying her worth. When you're priceless as a person, your self-worth can never be put on a spreadsheet. Your net worth, but not your self-worth. And so I hear people talk about, you know, you got to get paid your worth. Well, slavery is over. We're not slaves. You can never pay me my worth, because I'm priceless. And that's how I see myself, as priceless. And I wanted to shift the mindset for you to see that I am money. I'm the value. I am the product. And so you can't bring anything to anything unless you know who you are. You have to know your value so that you can bring value to your business, so that you can bring value to the products and the services that you offer to other people in exchange, because that's all money is an exchange system. Doesn't matter whether it's Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, doesn't matter whether it's fiat. It's a system. It is a system of exchange. We can make bananas the money, anything. We could exchange anything. We started out on a barter system. And so I wanted to immediately shift the way that you thought and the way that you see yourself. So you have to see your own value. We have to start there. You can't build a brand identity or anything, because this is all about identity. Your value is perceived. So before somebody else can see your value, you have to see your own value. So you have to shift. And when you're in a growth mindset, you don't really see problems. You see opportunities. I don't know if you guys watched when Candy Burst Tucker was on Atlanta Housewives, and they were like really just lying on her, saying she had a dungeon and saying all these other horrible things about her or whatever. Yeah, she was upset for a minute because she has built a brand and she's been, building it since she was a teenager. So of course she wouldn't like anybody spreading those type of rumors and lies. But what did she do? She flipped it. She saw that as an opportunity. She was like, oh, no, I don't have one. But guess what? I think I will get me one. And what did she do? She started a dungeon and took it on tour and probably made a cool million just doing that. That's a growth mindset. That's what a growth mindset does. A growth mindset is always going to see opportunities. That's why all day long, I'm writing stuff down. Things are sparking. Your brain has these neurons that need to connect. They're looking for a connection. And when they connect, they create what they call a dendrite. And the dendrite looks like a tree. It starts to grow branches. That's your money tree. It's in your brain. But if you're at a fixed mindset, you have all this disconnected information and you have no clarity, you have no vision, you don't see your gifts, all you see is limit. And so the war on poverty, it begins in your mind. And that's why you hear everybody talking about mindset, but it doesn't do any good for you to talk about it and not show people how to get from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. So you got to reset your mind. So you got to break the scarcity mentality by action. You got to identify, like, what is it that you believe? You believe you can't succeed. Why do you believe that? And that's a lie. So therefore, if you believe that you can't do this, or you believe that there's not enough, or you believe that you're not enough, those are not truths. Those are all lies. So you're always going to be in a scarcity mindset if your belief system needs a rehaul. You need to rehaul your system. Who told you that you couldn't succeed? Who told you that you weren't enough? Who told you that you didn't deserve it? Who told you that? Those are all lies. You're going to have to replace all of those lies with what is the truth. That's why affirmations are so important. Affirmations, the I am affirmations are affirmations of identity. When you're dealing with identity issues. So I am affirmations. I am successful. I am powerful. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I am money. I am money. Let me tell you something. When I was growing up, I grew up on 23rd and Diamond Street in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, poor. They call it the Badlands. They call it the poor area. And I just remember this growing up thinking, who are you to call somebody poor? Like, I never, ever saw myself as poor. I never saw myself as broke. I always saw myself as wealthy. Always. And now that I'm an adult, I still see myself the same way. But I've since learned that having a lot of money don't make you rich. And having no money don't make you poor. Don't let people call you poor. Do not let people call you broke because they got more commas and zeros in their bank account than you do. No, that doesn't mean, let me tell you something. We are looking at some of the top talent in the African-American community. We're looking at Jay-Z, who is a billionaire. His legacy is about to be torn apart. Because why? Because you're chasing money, you're chasing material things, but you do not have the character to keep you where your gifts and your talents have taken you. Don't concern yourself with the material part of it. That's going to come. How do I know it's going to come? Because your gifts, they make room for you. Automatically, they make room for you and bring you before great men. It's built in. It's like Prego. It's already in there. So I don't have to kiss nobody behind. I don't have to sell out. I don't have to compromise myself. What do I have to do? Use my gifts because it's built in. All I got to do is just use my gift. What is your gift? Is your gift writing? We always talk about Joseph in the pit. He went from the pit to the palace. Why? Because he used his gift. He didn't sit down there and was like, I knew he was probably thinking about how he was going to get out. You know what he was doing? He was cultivating his gift. He was in that pit for 13 years. Y'all didn't know that, did y'all? Y'all thought he just catapulted out of there just in one day? No. I am money means you cultivate the attributes and the characteristics of money. That means you build your character and you build yourself up to the point where you can't be bought because you know you're priceless. You cannot be bought. You cannot be sold. You will not sell out. You will not compromise because you know who you are. That's what that means. I am money. That means I am a walking ATM machine. My brain is a money tree. My brain is a money tree. Ideas and dendrites and neurons are connecting every day, all day long, giving me ideas to take to the marketplace and to exchange. Your talent is your money, but it's inside of you, not outside of you. If they would have, if him and Sean, if them two Seans would have cultivated character, see, they was too busy. And I get it. I get it. You want to get out the hood? I get it. Been there, done that. You want to get out the hood, but you want to get out a certain way. That's why 50 Cent be clowning them, because I believe he cultivated his character. He learned from all the street stuff that he saw, because the things that it takes to run a business is the same thing they be doing out there in the street. You might as well just take the game legal and do what? And make money. And now look at him. He's making movies, building his own movie studio, because your gift is automatically going to take you there. If you use it every single day, it's going to automatically bring you before great men. You don't have to compromise yourself. You don't have to stoop down to those levels. You don't have to go to the parties and run around and do whatever it was they was doing and swinging. And you don't have to do all of that, because you know who you are. I am the value. I have gold on the inside of me, and silver and pearls, and diamonds. You see what I'm saying? And topaz and emeralds. It's all in me. I am the money. I am the value. I am the product. And so you got to shift your mind to thinking that way. That's a growth mindset. And you're going to have to see your own value, because if not, you're going to, it's like every year people, what do? They run to the gym, they write down the vision board, they cut the pictures out. 3 months later, they're not doing any of the stuff, because you have to, in order for you to change your mind, your perception and your perspective, you have to replace the old with the new. If you have a habit that you want to get rid of, you don't just stop doing something. You got to replace it with something new. Okay, you're not going to smoke cigarettes anymore. Well, what are you going to do in place of that? You going to eat healthy? You sure? Because if not, your brain will default just like a computer, right? The computer is a prototype of our brain. An operating system is always running. That's why I'm a program creator, because I deal with you on the brain level. An operating system is always running, and that operating system has to be rewritten. It has to be reset, rewired, and renewed. It's going to take more than just somebody telling you need to change your mindset. Oh, we're going to cut to the chase on this channel. It's more to it than that. It sounds good, But how do I do that? Telling me what to do without telling me how to do it does not help me at all. Okay? So you got to renew your focus, discovery, and develop your gifts and talents. You have to work on it. One of the things that I love about Whitney Houston is that she was gifted. She was a gifted singer, but she treated her gift like it was a talent. See, a gift comes to you naturally. It's a natural thing. But your talent, you got to work on it. And she treated her gift as if it was a talent. And she worked on it. In every movie, I don't care what movie they show and depict her life in, she was always listening to great people. And she was always listening to music. And it's amazing to me how people are so surprised that she knew how to play the piano. You can't hear her playing the scales in her voice, her transitions, how she transitioned from her head voice to her diaphragm to her, oh my God, seamless. There's no way she didn't know how to play the piano, because basically when you're a singer, that's really what you're doing. You're mimicking the piano, because it's really between your diaphragm and your lungs and all of that and your ribs. You can look at that as an inside piano. And then the strings, your vocal cords, that's a harp inside of you. In the Bible, Satan, all the instruments were in him. So we keep looking externally for everything, and you're overlooking the treasure that is in you. We have this treasure in earthen vessel. Broke where? Who's broke? Ain't no such thing. Broke. You can never be broke. Poor. No. These people who have money and they're poor. And what's happening? They are what? They're going back to the level. And it's probably the thing that they never dreamed that they would do. But that's what's going to happen. When you get money and no character, and all you caught up in is your cars and your houses and how many houses you have and how much money you make, but you don't have any peace. You don't have any joy. You're not kind. You're mean. You don't have any patience. Somebody asked a question online and they said, how many of y'all have met celebrities that turned out to be different than what you thought? Lord have mercy. I had a whole laundry list because I used to be a flight attendant. These are some of the rudest, nastiest people that you could ever meet, a lot of them. And I'm not even going to waste my time in even naming them, but it's a lot of them. They are not who you think they are. They are truly playing a part. And a lot of them, they seek external validation. They need those claps. They need that applause. They need that validation. They need that approval. We have got to get to a place where we cannot be bought. You have got to get to a place where you cannot be bought. That nobody can, everybody has their price. No, I don't. Priceless. You cannot pay me what I'm worth. You can pay me some value based on my gifts and my talents and my expertise and my education, my knowledge, my skill set, my abilities. But you cannot, my self-worth is not for sale. And we have got to get to that place, because if not, your gift is going to throw you in the spotlight. Those of us that are that's been in the cave in the dark is getting ready to come to the forefront. Those that you see right now, you're not going to see them anymore. And when you get to that place, to that wealthy place, you're going to have to be able to stand on what you believe. And if you don't know what you believe right now, well, what's going to happen then? The same thing that's happening to Sean Carter and showing puffy combs. And it is an absolute disgrace. It's a disgrace because you work hard. This is not easy work. This is, you got to get out there and you got to put yourself out there. You got to come out of your comfort zone, and you have to go from, invisible to visibility. But you cannot do it if you don't know what you believe, because your believability is what gives you credibility. See, we talk about the know, like, and trust factor, but we're trying to give people something that we haven't given ourselves first. Do you know yourself? Do you like yourself? Do you trust yourself? You got to give your believability establishes credibility. What is credit? Trust. If I give you this, you'll pay me later. I'm trusting you. That's trust. So you got to deal with your believability. What is it that you believe? What is it that you believe about yourself? And if you believe you can't succeed, and if you believe, that's what poor is. Poverty is a mindset. Poverty has absolutely nothing to do with money. Nothing. I know plenty of people that got money, but they're poor. They're poor in character. They're poor. So they're not going to last long, because we're in a time, we talk about this transfer, but don't nobody really know what the transfer is. There are certain attributes and characteristics that money is attracted to. Money is the great equalizer. The 1%, you got 1% of the people that has all the money, and the 99% over here don't. What's going to happen? It has to balance out. How is it going to balance out? When you cultivate and develop who you are. See, before you can master money, you got to master you. And if you're thinking that because you don't have that much money in the bank that you poor or you broke or you're not rich, then that's a bad belief system. Money don't make you rich. Having money does not make you rich. Having money shows that you have used your talent. That's what that shows. And everybody has talent, whether you believe in God or don't believe in God. Everybody has at least one talent. And that one talent is worth, at a minimum, $1 million. Why do you think everybody want to be a millionaire? Because it's already in you. The wealth is in you. It's built in you. It's like you have to go inside, to get it. There's so many things that, I remember my spiritual father, he said, every time you write a book, it's like peeling an onion. You're going to learn something new about yourself. And it's true. I learn something new all the time. My son was like, Dad, Mom, you're doing all this stuff. I have a podcast. I write books. Well, I've been doing programs for a long time, but I didn't really put the programs out in public. I just wrote them all down in the book. And so now I'm developing them and I'm bringing them to the public because people are buying courses and the courses are not working. Yeah, because you got a bunch of fluff in there. You got to break it down step by step. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, so that people can walk into that wealthy place. The wealthy place is a place inside of you. I believe that you have spiritual wealth before you have physical wealth. And it's great to carry Birkin bags and Coach bags and Fendi's and Louis and Gucci's, but it's time to make your name great. See, that to me, when I think about that, that's a form of slavery to me. In slavery, they branded and put their names on our bodies. They took a branding iron and they put their name on our bodies. And so when I see people wearing these labels and, these label garden tools, it's a modern day form of just wearing somebody else's name. And I mean, it's cool. I love quality stuff too, but I don't want you to lose the fact that you can make your name great. Why don't you have, and I had this conversation with my granddaughters, because school was starting and they were thinking about what kind of sneakers they were going to buy. And I was like, I don't like Jordans. They ugly. They was like, what? Like, they are. I'm a woman. I like feminine things. I don't want to wear a shoe that looks like I don't know what that looks like, but I don't like it. They ugly to me. So I said, why don't you, make some shoes with your name on it? Let somebody be wearing, your shoes or whatever. The Bible says that God will make your name great. We have bought these brands billions of dollars. And how many times do we hear stories about our people going into Gucci and getting kicked out, or not being served, or being, looked down upon, or, being treated like a third-class citizen, when we're the ones who made you wealthy in material goods? And so it's time to wake up. It is time to wake up. And it's time to make your name great. And it's time to see your own value, and not, because value is perceived. And as I was listening to Taraji, I was like, they don't see that, they don't value the same things that we value. We see her, we love her work, we love what she does, we support everything that she does, we buy her hair products, the whole nine. But it's perceived. Everybody is not going to see your value, and that's okay. But do you see your own value? Do you see it? So don't let anybody call you poor. Don't let anybody call you broke, because you can have millions of dollars and still be poor. I done seen it too many times. I really have. Some of the saddest broken people, because they're broken in soul. They're broken in spirit. They got money and they live in nice houses and drive nice cars, and they lonely. They don't trust anybody. People that's multimillionaires, they live some sad existences. They can't trust people because they think everybody want them for their money. So they have a really tight circle around them. Either they don't associate with a whole lot of people, or they associate with too many people. They have no self-control, no temperance. You're going to need that when you're going and you're accumulating material wealth, because eventually it's going to happen. You're going to need self-control. I'm sure Diddy would have wished he had cultivated some self-control. You're going to need some self-control. You're going to need some temperance. You're going to need to be able to as Denzel said, leave before the devil come, when everybody else is stripping down bucket nakedness. You're going to have to be like, time to go. You have to discover your gifts and develop your talent and your character long before you get to that place. Because if not, you're going to be pressured to compromise, to take down, and to sell out. You basically sold out. I cannot even imagine. I hope that a lot of the things that they're saying is not even true. I really hope that they wasn't trafficking children. That would be such a complete tragedy, that they would even allow themselves to even entertain the thought of trafficking some children. I really hope that that's not true. I really do. Because I mean, that's below the scum of the earth right there. How do you go from being this mogul? Look at the impact that this man has made on music, to stoop into these levels. because you can have material wealth, but be poor in spirit and poor in soul. Being poor has nothing to do with money. So get out your mind that because you don't have money, you're poor, and stop thinking that because people got money, they rich. And please don't let nobody call you broke, because there's too much richness in you. There's too much wealth in you. You just have to know how to get it out. That's all that is. You just have to know. So embrace the challenges and the opportunities to learn, and view your failures as stepping stone rather than dead ends. You have to adopt a growth mindset. You have to want to embrace the challenges and to learn. The challenges that they just make you stronger. Stop signs are not stop signs. They are hurdles for you to soar over. The challenges are not stop signs. It's there to make you stronger. When you're lifting weights, when you first lift, yeah, it's heavy, but after a while, that 100 pounds that you started with is lightweight now. Now you know you need to add more weight. And that's how you have to look at it. You're growing, your muscles are growing. Now you have to add more weight. And so we cannot afford to stay in this place. We cannot afford to still be chasing money year after year. We still can't afford to have these empty goals. I'm probably going to have in the next couple of days the journal book. I'm creating a journal book that you can carry with you. I'm going to put places in there for you to put pictures and write your ideas down. It's going to be in probably about 5 or 6 different areas. Trying to see my board. I don't have my glasses on, but it's going to be a section for like your spiritual, whatever your spiritual beliefs are, your health, all of those things. This is how you get quantum leaps. This is how you leap in bounds. You move in exponential growth, leaps and bounds. What are your goals? What are your goals? Every year you should be learning something new, so that your brain can begin to make those connections, so that it can begin to give you a clear picture, so that you can have vision, so that you can be able to see how to get from point A to point B. And then we're going to leverage those relationships and surround yourself with people that inspire you and challenge you to grow. You have to foster. One of the things that in the program that I talk about is strategic relationships. Go to places where people that have money go. Go down to the yacht club. Go down to the golf course. Go to the places. Here they have the horseback where they run for the horses. Go to the places that foster these different types of mindsets, so that you can be introduced to these, type of things. And if you talk to them and say, hey, I'm looking for a mentor. I'm trying to get to where it is that you are. What is it that you did? You know what I'm saying? And we're in a time where we just can't afford the status quo. It's all about change right now. Because if we're going to move up to the place that we're rightfully ours, we can't keep chasing money. Money is a byproduct. It is an end result of your hard work. It's the end result of. When you go to work, they don't give you a check when you first start. They give you a check after you worked a week or 2 weeks. You got to put the work in. You have to put the work in to cultivate yourself. You got to put the work in to develop your gifts, to discover what your gifts are. I'm going to be talking about all of that. We're going to do Talent Tuesday, I believe. Or was it Talent Thursday? One of them T's. We're going to be doing that. And we're going to be talking about your gifts and how to leverage those gifts, how to discover, what your gifts are. It's important for you to know what your gifts are. It brings order to your life. How do you do what you do? Or you just doing what you see everybody else do? If I see one more, I'm not even going to say what it is. You are unique, and your uniqueness is what makes you great. I don't have to do anything different. All I got to do is just be me, because nobody can beat me being me. All I have to do is just be me. Okay. That's all I have to do is just be myself. And, be obedient and stick to the plan that it is that I've had. But I'm seeing too many people just focus on material things and what kind of car you drive and what kind of bag you carrying. But then when you really look at these people, they're unhappy. These people are not happy. Listen, I'm gifted. And I'm gifted to recognize gifts. And I see through people. And a lot of these people that come on that have all of this stuff, they're not happy people. And they're finding out that a lot of them are frauds. That's why Cut to the Chase was born. Because I'm tired of the fugazi. I'm tired of the phony and the fraud. And I know you're tired of the phony and the fraud. And so it's time to step up to the plate and do this thing the right way. Because who wants to, it is the worst thing in the world. I think it's the most horrible thing in the world to work that hard and to build that legacy and to watch that legacy crumble because you lack character. Because you were poor in character. You were poor in spirit. See, you can't walk around quoting scriptures. You got to live it. We have to embody it. You got to be it. I got a magazine out called B's, Business Essentials. It's a double entendre. Y'all know I love acronyms, but you got to be it. You have to embody it. You have to embody it. And then I've met some celebrities who are just as nice, just as down to earth, and just as nice. I'm gonna give you one who I met. Oh, Debbie Morgan. Debbie Morgan, she played on Power as Natari's mom. She's been around a long time. She played in a lot of the soap operas. I named my daughter after one of her soap opera characters. And I told her that when I met her. And let me tell you, this woman, the camera does not do her any justice. She is absolutely gorgeous. And I said that to her. I said, "You are so beautiful." She was like, "You're so beautiful too." I was like, "Oh." I said, "I named my daughter after one of your characters that you play." She is so down to earth and just so sweet, just such a sweet person. Patti LaBelle. I done met Patti LaBelle somewhere everywhere. And when I travel, Patty be everywhere too. For somebody who don't like to leave Philadelphia, Patty be everywhere. But because I'm from Philadelphia, I worked in Philadelphia airport. And so she's always coming through the airport. She's just as down to earth. She's very approachable. These are people that have developed their character. That's why they have sustainability and longevity, because that's what it does when you develop your gifts and you begin to develop your talent and your character. Just remember that. We're going to talk about that a lot. Money has certain attributes. I heard somebody say the other day, money don't like noise. I said, why? Because what I did was, the Bible says, make friends with unrighteous mammon. And I thought, man, when I read that, I was like, that sounds like an oxymoron. Why would I want to make friends with unrighteous mammon? Because when you make friends with unrighteous mammon, not only do the attributes of your friend, you kind of cultivate in your life, but you can take what's unrighteous and make it righteous. Okay. And make it righteous. That's the whole purpose of money. It's so that you can do good in the world. So that you can do good. Who gets money just to buy cars and houses? Because remember, the U-Haul comes after the hearse. So I will be coming back probably every single day around this time between 7 Central Time or 7 or 8 Central Time. And we're going to talk about this, the whole gamut. We're going to talk step by step on how to get you to where it is that you purpose to be. What were you placed on the planet to do? You weren't placed here to be called poor. You wasn't placed here to be called broke. Don't let nobody call you poor and broke because you don't have that much money in the bank. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. And so this is going to be a rich channel. And so go to Amazon, buy my book. I'm going to have to put all of my stuff down so y'all can click and move and get and do. And I will see you guys next tomorrow.